Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z to Will Skybox Conversations, man. The Hoop Pod. We talk about all things hoops. You know, everything from my favorite team to the Los Angeles Lakers, and on the college level, it's gonna be the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, excuse me, my voice is a little raspy. I sound like Doc Rivers in this motherfucker because I coached fourth and fifth grade here in my city, man, and we recently won a championship, and so it was a very intense game. Team wasn't listening, blowing assignments, turnover, just uncharacteristic stuff on my team. Went undefeated, 14-0. So that was a cool thing, man. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, man, and us getting an ugly win versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. This game had like a number of weird things going on, number of like storylines. I feel like that we could speak to and that we will speak to. And y'all know how I kind of like to do it. I kind of like to use my tweets and my notes as the game went on. It's kind of my talking points and my way to just be able to elaborate more on what I felt like were some of those headlines. Everything from Ant getting ejected, which was weird. I felt like really weak, and I felt like people that pay money for those type of games shouldn't have to suffer, because of a referee's ego or whatever you want to call it, or feelings getting hurt. Now I get it, saying disrespectful things or whatever that was said. I get that, and I'm sure we'll figure out. We're hearing on Twitter tonight or in the media early in the morning what was said, and they'll ask Ant about it, and he'll tell them more than likely. But I just feel like, man, that sucks when you come to a game to see the stars, and the stars either aren't playing or they get kicked out for like petty shit. It's just that sucks. Rui with another non-contact injury. This time, I think it was a leg, which was a weird thing. Man, hope he's okay. Hope it was just kind of another weird thing, similar to the back thing he had a few nights ago. But yeah, man, let's kind of get into this, man. So the way the game started for the Lakers, with Austin hitting this crazy three, is you thought that we were in for another night where we were pretty much dominate. And I'll say for majority of the first half, we did dominate, right? And even coming back out into the third, we did dominate. Um, But again, there was a number of things that changed the game, slowed down the game, like junked up the game. Um, there was a stretch where we couldn't hit shots. It was a lot of things that were going on. I mean, I think there was this one crazy stat where, like, at one point in the game, we didn't hit. I think Bron and Luca were like 0 for 13. You know what I'm saying? Combined, I think Luca missed 10, 11 shots in a row himself. Then he hits the fucking crazy one leg buzzer going down, 3 people on you, 2 people on you, double team, crazy shot, and it was the one that he hit. And so I think that kind of epitomizes what type of night it was. It was crazy. It was all over the place. It was an ugly win, but a win nonetheless. I mean, but I saw something on Twitter where it called the Lakers the LA cherry pickers, and I feel like, man, that has to be considered part of their offense at this point, where they want to not have to work so hard for all of their points. You know what I'm saying? And be able to get out in transition and run off of just leak outs, right? And 9 times out of 10, it's been LeBron being on the receiving end of that. And I think the other night they said that it used to be Bron to AD, and now Bron is AD. It might have been on NBA Today. I heard that, and that's very funny because that is exactly what. And Luca threw a pinpoint dime on the money, 90 something feet, 80 something feet, directly into LeBron's hands, right over the defender's head, and it was a beautiful thing to see. And I think it epitomizes one of the things that makes Luka so great. He has been struggling since becoming a Laker. I think it was a crazy stat that was said in the post game where he's like 11 for 39 from the three since being a Laker. He was 1 for 9 from the three again tonight. I feel like he was 1 for 9 the other night. So he hasn't been shooting the ball well, particularly, but like still having overall pretty impressive, stat lines, if I must say so myself. That some dudes would be happy with, but it's just off when it comes to Luka Doncic. You know what I'm saying? And so, um, yeah, it's been a weird night, and I'm pulling up the stats uh, from tonight. But I will say this: while you don't feel great about the win from Rui to how we got kind of lackadaisical at times, Luca's defense wasn't that great. You may feel a way about some of the things that you saw in the game, but overall, we led the whole game. Right. I think you have to see bigger picture in this game. We led the whole game. We never let them take the lead. They got close, right? They cut into the lead. They did those things, but we never gave up and we never wavered. Um we never like lost focus. Right now, like again, we couldn't hit shots. We were settling at times. All of those things, true. And again, you don't just go out of this game and say, "Man, I feel like we a championship level team." But you can say, championship level teams know how to win ugly games sometimes. They know how to win mucked up games and slow down games and aggressive games. And I feel like that's what Minnesota tried to do, is try to test our toughness, and making you feel them on every time they pick you up, everything they were trying to make you feel them. And we handled it for the most part. And again, got an ugly win, a win nonetheless. And there was a lot of storylines again in this game that maybe we weren't even expecting, right? Who's expecting Terrence Shannon Jr. to come in and give you 27 in like 30 minutes? Right. Not saying he's not capable, because he was a bucket at Illinois, but he's a rookie, right? And he hasn't been asked to do very much on this team, but they needed it. They needed it tonight. They needed everything he did, especially when Ant went out. And they talking about Ant gonna have to miss another game because it was his 16th technical of the year. And so who expected that, right? And LeBron had him in check for the most part, but then like that second half, he really got rolling. I think at one point he was like 8 for 13, so he was being hell of efficient with that 20. And he had like 23 points at this moment, like 8 for 13, so he was hooping. You know what I mean? But getting back to the beginning of the game, I said one of these things. I said that I remember a time when the Lakers used to get off to such slow starts, but these last 15, 20 games or so, right? We've been coming out like punching people in the mouth, right, and making them feel us, and it's been special to see. Um, and again, we never trailed in this game, and I think that's really impressive. It's like uh, we led from start to finish, starting with with Austin Reeves hitting that big crazy three that he hit, and it was impressive, man. And so real quick, if we look at the numbers, let's see what we got. So Brun led us tonight with 33 and 17, like a rough night. 6 for 20, 1 for 9 from the three. Yeah, he made a double with 30 rebounds and still had 5 assists. Had 3 turnovers. Austin had 4. Braun had 4, 6 and 5, and a couple steals. Um, so it was an ugly game. It was a mucked up game, and we still found a way to get a win. But I'm so impressed that what felt like it used to take us forever to get out the mud in games, we coming out and we're the aggressor, right? We're hitting shots, we're defending at a high level, um, we're setting the tone for games, and I think we're trying to show people like this isn't a fluke. We can play defense this way. We can score with the best of them. We can um we can compete with anybody. And if you don't bring it, we're gonna beat your ass. And that's the energy I'm getting from this Laker team as of late. And it's just good to see. It's refreshing to see, because sometimes they would come out and you'll be like, oh shit, here they go. Right. You would feel that way, I swear, especially when Darvin Ham was there. Not to pick on them, man, but just like when Darvin Ham was there were games where you'll be like, man, here they go. Here they go on that bullshit again. But as of late, man, you haven't been able to say that. And that's just a good feeling, I think. And I even said it feels like the Lakers just can't miss anything right now, because there was a point in majority of that first half again, right? We was up as much as like 20, where it just felt like we were hitting everything. The ball was popping. It had energy. Braun was coming out cooking, right? 16, I think he had like 16 something or 17 something first half points. Like Luka damn near had a double at the half. Like everything was clicking. And it seemed like we couldn't miss. But at the end, um, the Timberwolves made a hell of a run, and got back in the ball game. But that was to be expected because I say this all the time. Now, 20 points in the NBA is nothing. So even though we was up 20, knowing that it was such a long game, I never was like, well, this is over, right? You never felt that way because you knew how quick things could change, especially with a dude like Edwards on your team. Even though I felt like he, again, that was just some petty stuff, you know. Um, how do we do in the paint against them tonight? Because there was a point in the game where I said this. I said that we lack size, yet we're dominating the paint 14-2 so far in the first quarter. Kind of how we dominated the game against the Mavs in the paint. Like we really, like have owned that stat per se. And let me see what it was tonight when it comes to the paint points. It was points in the paint. We only ended up winning that by 2 points, actually. And so I think that's probably where the game started to kind of open up, is because Terrence Shannon was getting downhill at will. Nas Reed finally hit a couple shots. Jay McDaniels, he hit a couple layups. So I feel like they just started getting downhill into the room. Like the paint started opening up for them, especially when Rui went out. Um, yeah, I feel like that's kind of when Rui went out, things really started kind of going sideways a little bit. But yeah, again, we still able to hold on and win the ugly game, and so that was good. And our defense, man, it was so beautiful at the beginning of the game. They only had like 17 points in the first quarter, right? So we came out, man, like guns blazing on offense and defense, holding that team to 17 points with Ant Edwards out there. That's tough, man. And it took a while for Ant Edwards to even get going. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. So that was tough. That was tough. Um, then I always kind of tweet about other games going on around the league, and I saw Zion had his first triple double in his career tonight against Phoenix, man, who is still struggling and losing games, which is crazy because Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are hooping. But I said that it's just so good to see Zion back healthy and hooping, because it is, man. He's good for the game, and it's just all this talk going around now about like who's the face of the NBA, and he was right in the mix of that conversation, and he probably still should be. I'm not gonna say we should write him off, but it's just good to see him healthy and playing. And it's crazy to think about. He's been in the league 5 years now, roughly 5 or 6 years, maybe. I'm not sure, something in that range. And that was his first triple double. So that just shows you how much he's been out, because he probably would have been accomplished that if he was playing. So just a little bit off topic, but again, it's just good to see him back healthy, man. But what I noticed too is off ball LeBron is a problem. Off ball LeBron is a problem. Um, and it's giving us so many good things, because what's happening is now Bron he doesn't have to exert so much energy handling the ball. And, getting all the way up the court. He can kind of rest at times, and let other people operate. He's a spot up shooter, catch and shoot type of guy sometimes. He's able to cut and slash, and that's an easy layup, easy dunk, or make the right pass, depending on how the defense shifts. Like, he's too smart, and he still is clearly athletic enough to make plays out of being an off-ball guy. And he just, I think it's part of the reason he's putting up the numbers he's putting up, in my opinion. And then so we came back, and so again, Minnesota ended the half. I think they closed it down to like 9 points. And then they come right back out in the second half, and try to continue that momentum. I think we got it back up to like 15 at one point in the third quarter. And I think Rui hit a big three. And I said, man, Rui has really become a sniper. And I ain't never seen him shoot like this before. Rui has become a sniper, man. He has become a sniper. Even Goodwin was knocking down threes. I said that too. I said even Goodwin knocking down threes, and that's not even his game. That's not even who Goodwin is. And he was making threes, or he made 8 3, right? I don't know if he made multiple. I know he made 8 3. Let me see. Goodwin might have. Let me see. Let me see what else they did. Y'all can come look with me real quick. I think he just made 8 3, y'all. Let me see. Goodwin. Yeah, he just hit that 1 3, but he still gave you 7 points off the bench in only 13 minutes. Great defense as always. Gabe has been struggling. Lately. Gabe is falling back into a slump. I didn't say much about him in my tweets tonight, but I did notice that like Gabe has been struggling 1 for 6, 0 for 5. Hit a couple free throws for only points. It was a -5. Vando, man, you can't really look at Vando's squad like what Vando does for that team and does for the Lakers. You can't look at the scoreboard for a dude like Vando because he does stuff in the game that passes the eye test, not the box score. He does things in the game that make you say, "Damn, that was a great stop. Damn, that was a great deflection. Damn, that was a that was a great box out." Like he does those things. Damn, he picking up 94 feet. Damn, he denying hard. Like he does those things that aren't tangible but change the landscape of a game. And so yeah. That's everybody was contributing in their own way to get this ugly win is what I'm getting at. But again, Gabe is struggling. I need to see him. Yeah, I need to see him shake back if we talking about being able to make a deep run. We need him. We need him. We need him. I said I feel like LeBron is always taking pride on defense, but he playing like an all defensive first team selection. No bullshit. No bullshit, bro. Like I think he always has taken pride in defense, but I think in the past he pick and choose when he finna really sit on your shit, right? Like really sit. You're not scoring, right? I feel like there was a times where he was a little more selective, but it seems like every time somebody tried to come at him in a one-on-one matchup, he's sitting. He fucking sitting. He not playing with you. He not playing with you. He's sitting and he not getting blown by. He's not getting overpowered, right? He not you're not dunking on him like that. So it's man, he's sitting. And man, and I said this again. I feel like at this point, I'm glazing JJ Redick almost because it's like I said once again, JJ and the team, great strategy. I feel like they was making the dudes take shots that they wanted to take for majority of the game, which is why I felt like we kept such a comfortable lead for a majority of the game. But then like again, Terrence Shannon Jr., a dude you ain't really scouting for like that, start getting off. We had Jay McDaniels taking those threes. He wasn't making them. Nas Reed was off. And so we were trying to see, like, we know you can, we the dudes you got taking these high clips of shots. Can you make them? JJ was living with certain people taking them. He let McDaniels have a lot of them shots. He let Nas Reed have a lot of those shots. He let, you know what I'm saying, Nikhil Alexander Walker have some of those shots. You feel what I'm saying? And then we switched it up again once they started making stuff and we was missing a lot. He adjusted, but I think for the most part, he's kind of like, you got to prove to me that this dude can make it at a high clip. You got to prove to me that he can beat us. We're going to game plan for your stars and the dudes that can, that maybe this is their specialty, shooting. And we're going to make X amount of dudes on your team show us. We're going to make Aaron Gordon show us he can shoot. We're going to make Russell Westbrook show us he can shoot. We're going to make, who are some other teams we didn't play, right? We're going to let Dante Exum. We're going to let these people. We're going to let, I want to say Nas Reed again, but that's not his name. He on Dallas now. Came from New Orleans. We played them another night. We're gonna let him shoot the ball, and we're gonna live with the results, right? And we're gonna adjust if they start killing us. And nobody has done that, right? And I think that was just just great coaching, And I think also, man, you notice LeBron energy was rubbing off on people. You got Austin taking charges. You got, Jerry Vanderbilt bringing the energy he's bringing. I think Bron showing you that, man, I'm at 40 years old, busting my ass. I'm running the floor. I'm taking charges. I'm locking up. I'm sitting down. I'm learning my matchups. And I think it's just rubbing off on people. And real quick, giving some love to a former Laker, because this is something I also tweeted. Kuz going to the Bucks, Kyle Kuzma going to the Bucks was a great pickup. It's like I peeped it when it happened. Of course, you knew it happened, but then seeing it tonight and how they beat Denver, he was a great addition. Now he didn't just go off or nothing like that per se, but just when you talk about wings and how important 3-and-D dudes and stretch fours and things like that, just knowing how important them dudes are to the league now. That was a great pickup for the Bucks, in my opinion. Really, 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 really good pickup for them, man. And then I said this again. I said, man, Rui keeps getting these weird non-contact injuries. I really hope he's okay. Man, did y'all see what the fuck Steph did tonight? That shit was crazy. I didn't even see it. I just saw the highlights and Twitter because I was working out some players, but like 56. I guess Steph saying, man, y'all better stop disrespecting me. And again, I said this too. I feel like Jimmy being on the team, even though he was like he didn't have a great night or anything, him being on the team has opened up things tremendously for Steph. Because even though Jimmy didn't was 1 for 7 and 2 points, whatever it was, you still gotta respect him. You still gotta respect him. And I think it opens up so much stuff for Steph, man. It's crazy. But yeah, back to that weak ass ejection for Ant, man. It didn't even look like he said nothing. He must have like really cussed him out or something, or the refs just not putting up with it. No, I don't know what it was, but like, come on, man, this is what they came to see: Bron versus Ant, Luca versus Ant. Come on, man, come on, man. They didn't come to see Nas Reed and Nikhil Alexander Walker and motherfucking. Come on, man, and Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. Them some young stars, them some young studs. They gonna be, gonna make a name for themselves. I'm not disrespecting them, but you can't see Anthony Edwards, bro. Come on, man. You ain't gonna see Michael Conley. You can see Anthony Edwards. Come on, man. Like the refs gotta chill out with that shit, that sensitive shit. Because it man, come on. But I was surprised though that Ant had 16 technicals. I didn't I just because Quentin Richardson said it on the post game on NBA TV. You don't expect the way Ant always laughing and smiling and kicking it and goofing off, and from what you see, or we don't know that man like that to he's really talking about him, but like from what you see, you wouldn't think that he would be somebody that get that many technicals. But also when you hooping, a different side you can come out, a different type of passion, a different type of aggressiveness, right? And that's what he plays with, which is why I think he's who he is. But he got to chill out though because his team needs him, and now he's going to be suspended a game, and you putting yourself in that Draymond Green conversation, right? When you talk about giving up all this money for ticks, like that just don't even make sense, right? And it doesn't hit until you realize, damn, you done spent $1 million because you can't like keep your cool. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think the game became so close because we couldn't hit shots. Our defensive intensity really like slid all the way back. We and then we started looking really stagnant and lethargic on offense. JJ kept trying to give Dalton Connect chances, man. What's going on with Dalton, man? He just hasn't looked right since he came back from the trade. He hasn't looked right. I mean, he was already kind of struggling before the trade, but I feel like since he came back, he's looked even worse. The shot touch isn't there. Um, a lot of blown defensive assignments. Yeah, just weird shit like that. Like just weird shit, man. And it's just like, all right, come on, man. And you got people really talking bad about him, and then I'm not gonna go that far and bash him because I think when he's on, and we've seen what he can be. But he got to figure it out. He got to figure it out, and he got to stop doing that shit. But yeah, dog, they was on dog ass though. And real quick, speaking of what Charles Barkley had to say about the Lakers not being a contender, what did the Lakers do to Charles Barkley? What did the Lakers do to Charles Barkley to make him always be trolling us and talk? I mean, obviously it's the network that's talking about the Lakers, so I'm not gonna just say he bring us up on his own, but he never give credit where it's due. Where you can say, um, it's okay for you to say like they look pretty good. I don't think they're gonna win it all, but I think they have a chance if they can do this. That's real. That's real sports talk, right? The way you talk about the game and about certain teams and certain individuals, like you hate the motherfucker or something, and he always does say, no disrespect, just my opinion. He does say those things, but it's just like, yeah, you're going off of opinions, you're going off of feelings. Look at the facts. Look at the facts, bro. Look at the facts. If this was any other team in the league doing these things, you would be giving them way more praise and respect. If it was I don't know, if it was Steph Curry, right? If the Thunder, even though they got the best record in the West, I'm not saying it, but if they were currently on a type of run where they won 12 of the last 14 or whatever the crazy number is that the Lakers are on, like they've been winning. right? So if they were doing that type of stuff, would you still be saying they're still not a contender? Right? Or would you still be saying that? I don't believe he would. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's just because it's LeBron, because it's the Lakers. And he probably tired of, how much attention they get. You probably are tired of that. And so because of that, you never seem to give them credit. Now I agree with him. Now, before we got Luka and before we got Dorian Finney-Smith, before we started playing defense the way we've been playing defense, I never said we were a championship contender either. I get that. But the way we playing now has been so inspiring where if you really know ball, you will say they got a chance. Now you can also say, hey, these are the things that may get in their way. The lack of size, the Luka struggling, maybe even go that far. Can Austin Reeves be the consistent third option in big games, for 7 games? You can even go that route. But he just wholeheartedly just going past all that and just talking shit. And so yeah, just weird. And I think kind of the epitome of what we talking about when you getting on TV and just using your platform to bash motherfuckers and to bash the league. I think Brian kind of closed the game for us with that last bucket he got that put us up 9, kind of the final nail in the coffin. It was an ugly win again, but a win nonetheless. And it's funny that Brian been busting people ass lately, and he goes straight to the locker room and probably start his treatment immediately. Like, have my bath running, have my motherfucking ice ready. Nigga, my leg hurting like a motherfucker. And so that'd be funny as hell to me, man. He gave their ass 33 and 17 and immediately went to the locker room. So ain't shaking nobody's hand. I'm old as shit. I'm 40. I'm tired. My feet hurt. Get me home. Like, that's the type of shit he on. And I just think that's funny, man. But yeah, man, it was an ugly win. I think this is the perfect place to stop it because I could go on and on about the game. Got a tough one tomorrow against the Clippers. Probably need to rest Bron, especially if he's not feeling well with his leg. It looked like he was limping a little bit. Probably need to rest him, right? Or maybe on a some type of management, right? Not playing too much, playing in spurts or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, you don't need to run him into the ground, man, when the postseason is right around the corner. I think Luka can get it done with Austin. And especially if Rui can come back. I really hope Rui's okay. And it was just something kind of weird because you definitely need Rui. Without LeBron, that's even smaller. So dude's gonna have to step up, man. Dude's gonna have to step up. But we'll be back with another video tomorrow, kind of just giving our recap and our own twist and take of the game, man. I know how much I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Skybox Conversations. I'm your host, and I love y'all, man. Peace. I sound like Doc fucking Rivers, man. This shit's crazy.